right, good afternoon. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Let's hope this recording goes a little bit better than the last one. Uh, Again, I live out in the country, so signal's not that great, and sometimes we lose the signal. I'm going to be scrapbooking just the remaining ephemera, which I have laid out here in front of me from our trip to the Henry Ford Museum in Detroit. If you hear any stuff happening in the background, my mom is continuing working on archiving family letters that go back 75, 80 years. And so she's doing some work in the background. But I have some things left over from our trip, and just want to show you how I archive in the scrapbooks the ephemera. So let me show you what I have. I have a ticket here from a 3D movie that we saw on site. I have put a thin black border around that to help it stand out. A postcard, which I purchased in the village at the museum and sent to myself. And so you can see that's my old address, but it has the date on it. And the ticket plus this help to from the Henry Ford Museum store. I'm going to show you something interesting that I've done. Got a couple pictures that I want to make sure get fit in. Pictures from the photo booth. We ate at the Eagle Tavern, and they were able to give us some menus, but you can see I cut this one so you can see the front and cut off parts of the menu on the back. So I'm probably not going to use that, but I had a second one, and I'll show you what I did. I kept this one at the same size, trimmed it down a little bit, but you can see on the back, you can still see the rest of the menu. So what I've done is measured a piece of similar background paper, as you see here, and attached it. And I'm actually going to slide this into the page protector just by itself. When you flip the page, you'll be able to see both sides. And I'm going to drop some of these pictures in here. Because this is going to be double-sided, I need a third spread. And I'm honestly I've got two program maps here. I'm just going to slide them directly into the plastic sheet protector like that. So this one, again, plastic sheet protector with this piece of paper in. These two are just going to slide right in there. So I'm not going to show you much more of that right now. But I do want to work on these two spreads here. So I'm going to start actually, I think, by using this border, which came off of this menu over here that I'm going to throw away, and use that. But I want to get this postcard into the mix underneath that. So you'll see I am going to cover up this ticket just a little bit, but I think that will be okay. So let me get that ticket down. Use a Cricut tool here to pick that up, and oops, that happens sometimes. Get some sticky on that, and let's get that placed. I'll put it over as far as I can, and then I'm going to put this piece of plastic underneath this. So just going to start with a little tack here to hold that in place. And I'm just going to leave the plastic over the edge. You're going to see what I'm going to do here in a second. I'm going to move this to right about there and just gently tack that down. Alright, now I'm going to put the border in place. So we'll put some adhesive tabs on that, if I can get them there. There we go. There we go. All right, hopefully you're still seeing what I'm doing. It says I'm having some error on the video, so I hope that that's working. But look, I'm putting the border right over the top of that plastic sheet. So it's going to stick out here to the side, but to make sure that that doesn't slip, I am going to use my Crocodile Big Bite Punch, and I'm going to put both of those in place. And I've got two little black brads here, and just feed that through. There we go. There's one. I'll get the other one. These little ones are always hard to operate. Okay, so those are now holding that in place. Oh, that did not stick, so I'm going to have to push that down. There we go. You can see the brads are in place. What I'm going to do is just use my straight line cutter here, line it up with the edge, and I'm going to cut off the remaining plastic. So there's the plastic, that'll end up in the trash, and now you can see both sides of the postcard. I'll just score that a little bit to make that a little bit easier. And we'll place this, since this is big and heavy and will be used, I'm actually going to use quite a bit of adhesive tape here. It'll help make sure that that stays in place. Work on centering that. There we go. So that is one side of the page, and now let's work on the other. I'm going to put the border in place. Always try and put the borders on first, although sometimes I have put things under the borders. But if the border's on first, you can see how to center everything else on the page. Okay, so borders on. Film strip, which I've put a black border on. It's going to go right there. I'm having some trouble with having things stick to this kind of paper, so I'm going to put a few more tabs on it. Going to use part of an old photograph to press it down, that way you don't get fingerprints on it. And now I'm going to flip it over. I've got two photographs of my friend that I went with, and I have trimmed these down so that they'll fit on the page perfectly. So we'll just stick them here. Again, this is kind of a whole bunch of different stuff, but I wanted to make sure that I kept good record of them. And so usually when I've been on a trip, I'll have a page or two at the end that holds a bunch of ephemera, just so that we've got it with the rest of the pictures and pages. So it doesn't always look fancy, but it does keep everything together. Now you may notice here that this doesn't quite line up here, and it's not looking like it's lining up there. So I'm actually going to trim this entire page to make sure that it will fit in the plastic page protector and will line up nicely. So there we go. Just pull off a bit of this, and oops, it's coming apart a little bit there. Once it's in the plastic page protector, it'll be a little better. And I think I'm just going to leave that side as is. Should be good. So this is what the project will look like. There's page one. is page 2. This will then flip over like that, and this will be the 4th page. So you can see how I'm using both sides of the same menu to make 2 different pages, but the whole thing fits together. Alright, I hope that you've had a good time watching this and have learned some things. See you again when I do this again. Take care.